Long before the reign of the dinosaurs, a nightmare disturbed the oceans. This was no ordinary fish. This was Helicoprion, a creature with a jaw like a buzzsaw, a spiral of razor-sharp teeth. As it darted through the water, the Helicoprion could turn even the toughest prey into ribbons of flesh in a single horrifying bite. The Helicoprion is an extinct genus of shark-like fish that existed in the oceans during the Permian period. It eventually disappeared in the early Triassic, long before the dinosaurs appeared. This fish was a huge cartilaginous fish and was about twice the size of a great white shark, though it was much narrower by comparison and had fewer fins. Most recently, Helicoprion has been classified as part of the group Holocephali. The only living members of this group are today's chimeriforms, also known as ratfish or chimeras. This ancient predator is known primarily through fossilized tooth whorls, spirals of teeth that resemble a buzzsaw. The spiral of teeth is the only part of this cartilaginous fish that has been preserved, making paleontologists finding it a bit hard reconstructing the rest of the body. Although Helicoprion resembled sharks, they were actually more closely linked to chimeras, the ratfish still seen in today's oceans. Like every other prehistoric animal has a unique feature, the Helicoprion does too. Its most striking feature is a spirally arranged cluster of teeth known as a tooth whorl, sets this ancient fish apart from any other. Unlike modern sharks, which shed and replace teeth, Helicoprion's teeth spiraled forward along the midline of its mouth, creating a dental conveyor belt that never stopped growing. The name Helicoprion translates to spiral saw, highlighting the fish's unusual dental arrangement. Despite the preserved whorls, much about this creature remains a pure mystery. Its skeletal structure was composed of cartilage, which quickly decomposed after death unless maintained in unique circumstances. Consequently, most of its body remains unknown, causing researchers to reconstruct its look based on limited proof. Studies suggest that this creature's had its body shaped like a torpedo, making it look like that of contemporary land sharks, swordfish, or tuna. It was said to be one of the largest cartilaginous fish ever discovered, with its weight up to about 1,000 pounds and measuring about 20 to 25 feet long. Helicoprion was also believed to have one large dorsal fin and split causal fins. From the studies, they also deduced that the fish had no pelvic or anal fins. But it was the tooth whorl that truly defined this creature. Dozens of sharp, hooked teeth arranged in a spiral, with the largest teeth reaching over 4 inches in length. This deadly arrangement allowed the Helicoprion to efficiently slice through the soft-bodied prey of its time, making it a formidable predator in the ancient seas. In 1899, Russian geologist Andrei P. Karpinski discovered a strange fossil in Kazakhstan. This fossil, a spiral of teeth, was unlike anything seen before. It was initially misidentified as a coiled ammonite shell, but was later recognized as part of a prehistoric fish. The fossil was named Helicoprion, which means spiral saw, but Karpinski couldn't describe where this strange structure fit on the creature. Early studies believed it was part of the snout to something attached to the tail, or even growing out of the dorsal fin. Despite years of study, the puzzle of Helicoprion's toothy spiral remained unsolved until the 1950s, when Russian paleoichthyologist Dmitry Obruchev proposed that the whirl might belong in the upper jaw, potentially serving as protection or a shock absorber. However, it wasn't until the discovery of a related species, Ornithoprion, that scientists finally pieced together the truth. The spiral of teeth was located in the lower jaw, not for defense, but for feeding, making the Helicoprion into one of the Permian Sea's most fearsome predators. Over the years, paleontologists have identified 3 distinct species of Helicoprion, each with unique dental features. Helicoprion divicei had stout, widely spaced teeth with tall cutting surfaces, ideal for slicing through larger prey. Helicoprion basanoi had narrow, closely spaced teeth with shorter cutting surfaces, more suited for smaller, soft-bodied animals. Another species, Helicoprion ergasiminon, was discovered in the Phosphoria Formation of Idaho. It represented a mix of the two, with narrow, closely spaced teeth and tall cutting surfaces, marking it as a versatile predator in its own right. Research on the feeding habit of the Helicoprion has raised questions among scientists due to its strange spiral teeth, although it's known to be a carnivorous predator in the ancient seas. Most scientists believe that the Helicoprion preyed on soft-bodied creatures, like squid. Some theories suggest it used suction to draw in prey, while others propose a more traditional bite-feeding mechanism. The sharp external teeth were probably used to hook and drag prey, with the middle teeth cutting and piercing, and the posterior teeth slicing prey into manageable pieces before being swallowed. Yet, this wasn't the only theory. An alternative theory suggested that Helicoprion may have also targeted hard-shelled creatures like ammonoids. In this scenario, the tooth whirl would have functioned as a deshelling tool, cracking open the prey before it was sucked into the mouth. Recent studies have indicated that Helicoprion had a powerful bite force ranging from 1,200 to 1,400 Newton, suggesting that it could have easily preyed on a variety of marine vertebrates, including bony fish and other cartilaginous species. With such formidable jaws, Helicoprion was undoubtedly a fearsome predator of the ancient oceans. Helicoprion existed from the early Permian period, approximately 290 million years ago, to the early Triassic, about 40 million years later. Fossils of this predator have been found in different areas like Australia, Asia, Europe, and North America, indicating it had a broad presence in the oceans during the Permian period. It is interesting that more than 50% of Helicoprion remains have been discovered in Idaho, while a substantial number have also been found in the Ural Mountains in Russia. The discovery of many Helicoprion fossils indicates that this prehistoric fish likely lived along the southwest coast of the supercontinent Gondwana, which eventually formed Pangaea. Helicoprion impressively managed to survive the Permian-Triassic extinction event, showing resilience and adaptability as 90% of marine species and 70% of land animals perished. The Great Dying, known as the Permian-Triassic extinction event, took place approximately 252 million years ago and caused the disappearance of Helicoprion and many other species. The incident wiped out approximately 96% of marine creatures and 70% of land animals, ranking it as one of the most severe mass extinctions ever recorded. This extinction event was caused by the enormous volcanic eruption in the Siberian Traps region. A large amount of carbon dioxide and other gases were released into the atmosphere due to volcanic eruptions, leading to high levels of global warming. Because of the Earth's climate warming, the ocean temperatures increased up to 51 degrees Fahrenheit, creating difficulties for many marine organisms to survive. Moreover, increased concentrations of dissolved carbon dioxide in the oceans have led to a high acidification, placing additional stress on marine ecosystems. A noticeable drop in oxygen levels occurred in ocean waters, leading to a complete lack of oxygen in specific areas, especially in the deeper parts of the sea. The Helicoprion became extinct because of a widespread marine suffocation, triggered by a mix of drastic temperature increase, ocean acidification, and oxygen depletion. This mass extinction changed the variety of life on Earth and set the stage for the rise of different life forms in the following Triassic era. Reproduction in Helicoprion remains a mystery due to the lack of fossil evidence that could reveal sexual characteristics or reproductive behaviors. The preserved fossils of the creature are primarily limited to the iconic tooth whorls, with no substantial evidence to indicate whether there was sexual dimorphism within the species. As a result, researchers have not been able to conclusively ascertain how these prehistoric animals reproduced. Nevertheless, when comparing with contemporary species like sharks and chimeras, it seems likely that Helicoprion used comparable mating habits. In modern sharks, male sharks have claspers, which are specialized organs that are used to transfer sperm into the female's cloaca for internal fertilization. After being fertilized, the eggs grow within the female's body, and the offspring, called pups, are born alive through a method called ovoviviparity. This method of giving birth ensures that the offspring are fairly advanced and more prepared for survival in the open ocean right after being born. While we cannot confirm that Helicoprions shared these reproductive traits, the assumption is believable given the similarities in the reproductive anatomy and behavior of many cartilaginous fishes. As with modern sharks, if Helicoprion did exhibit internal fertilization and live birth, it would have been an evolutionary advantage, allowing the species to thrive in its ancient marine environment. Until more fossils are discovered, much of what we understand about Helicoprion's reproduction will remain speculative, grounded in comparisons with its modern descendants. We finally touched on the Helicoprion. What do you think about this prehistoric creature? Be sure to subscribe if you're interested in learning more about the mysteries of the deep sea.